Andrew, you and I are taunt swapping at 3 stacks of the debuff, and then basically whenever the debuff falls off, the off tank can taunt back. We've done that 100 times. Healers, you're going to want to do alphabetical cooldown rotation for the Song of Dissolution. It's an ability that gets cast, will do massive raid-wide damage, just alphabetical order. If I can't call it, just whenever you use yours, just say your name so the next person in alphabetical order will know that they're up next. Is probably the best way to handle that. I know it gets complicated because we're very ass end of the alphabet heavy, but do your best to figure that out. It looks like we'll be starting with Fun Sponge for the first. There will be a couple of abilities that happen. So we're going to fight 2 of the 9 right off the bat. When we get them to 10%, the third of the 9 will join the fray. At that point, that's when we're going to hero to burn down the first 2 bosses and then put as much damage as we can on Skya. The other 6 Valkyr remain abilities that happen throughout this fight. They kind of create empowerments. I'm going to go through all of them. Like I say, many of them are counterintuitive, and all of them are things we've seen before, so it shouldn't be that hard, but bear with me. There will be an ad that gets spawned in the very beginning of the fight when it's just the 2 of them up, called Formless Mass. It casts an ability called Siphon Vitality. Kill the ad as quickly as possible, interrupt Siphon Vitality. First of the 2 Valkyrie, named Sign, has 2 interruptible casts. We want to try to interrupt as many as we can, but the song that we're doing healer cooldowns for is interruptible, but even the first tick or 2 is still probably worth using the cooldown for. We always want to prioritize kicks on the song. I don't remember what the other cast is, but it's a single target tank bolt. If we can get that, great. If not, that's not the end of the world. We want to make sure we're getting song. I don't want to have to do a interrupt rotation. If we can't get there, that is a thing I will do. We can call it out. I just want to see if we can organically figure out how to not all interrupt at the same time. The next ability that's going to happen throughout the fight is there will be 2 abilities that will either try to pull you in or push you out. As is customary for all things WoW, you want to do the opposite of what the game is forcing you to do. So Wings of Rage will try to pull you in. In that case, you want to run against the pull, run away from Wings of Rage, and don't be in that center because it's going to explode. The second ability is called Reverberating Refrain. It will try to push you back. You want to move against that and get into the safety zone because everything else explodes. The mechanic that will cause us problems here is called Destiny Fragment. I put a blue marker down here. We're going to talk through this really quick because this is the big hiccup. Debuffs will go out on players. Again, I believe it scales with raid size. I am not certain, so we probably will see, somewhere between 3 and 5 debuffs. Infinitely timeable. There's no duration expiration on them. They only disappear when they're dispelled. When they are dispelled, they will jump to the next closest raid member, and they will keep doing damage and jumping infinitely until we can get all 5 debuffs on the same person. So in my world, what I'd like to see happen is the first person who has the debuff, or the first person with a debuff to get to the blue marker comes and stands on the blue marker. Then the next person with a debuff comes and stands right here where the green raid marker is. So Fel runs over, she's in position, I call it out, the healers dispel Fel, it moves to me, the next closest raid person. Then Fel rejoins the stack group. Then the third person with the debuff, it'll be on purple, say for example, and Zeph will come over and stand on purple. I'll say, we're ready, the healers will dispel Zeph, it will jump on me. Then he runs away. Then the next person with the debuff will take that same position, get dispelled once everybody else is clear. Once all of the debuffs are on one person, it becomes a void zone. So once we are down to, let's say for the sake of argument that it's going to be 5 debuffs. Once we're at 4 debuffs, I want the person at blue to run all the way back against this wall here, because once your stacks are cleansed, it leaves a void zone that expands and is going to be here for the whole fight. So I don't want everybody to have to run to BFE for each dispel, but I think once we hit 4, that's a good time. That's the only thing that I think is going to be a wrinkle for us. They do an ability called Call of the Valkyr. This is where the other 6 abilities, the other 6 Valkyrie, will make their presence known. And like I said, we're going to just touch on these very, very quickly. These are straightforward raid mechanics we've seen 100 times. The first one will do a lines just like Massacre. So in case you were not practiced enough from, what was it called when Ramornia slashed through Massacre, it'll be just like Massacre, black lines this time instead of red. You want to run away from an ability called Impact. It'll be like a circle, just clear out of that. We want Andrew and I to kite the boss out of their glowing Aegis ability. If you taunt, the provoke will get them out of there faster. The amount of damage that they go like 99%, so we want to get them out of there quickly. We need one person to soak each of the falling strike circles. This will have the standard Kill Jaden swirly soak portal, the ground effect with the little needle sticking up out of it. One person and one person only in each of those soaks. You need to loosely spread for the dirge, and then everybody needs to stack and soak for crushing gaze. So we've seen all of these mechanics in various bosses in the last 12 to 18 months, but they're all going to happen here at different points of the fight. And I will do my best to call them out, but I think we all know what to do. You know what a soak circle looks like, you know what a stack, what a run away. Don't stand in bad.